It'd sure be unfortunate if I got recognized.
Oh boy, here it comes!
Are you JaidenAnimations?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So
Hey guys, my name's Dan, and this reaction comes from JaidenAnimations. This is my funniest fan interactions, and I can imagine just how many she's had over the years with how popular she is and how influential she's been within the genre, within this genre on YouTube, and inspiring so many different artists to do what they do. And I'm very curious to see how crazy things get, because something tells me it's gonna get pretty crazy. But before we get into it, though, please check all those links I have for you down in the description below. More specifically, JaidenAnimations link. If you haven't already, it's a great way to support her, and a great and easy way to support me is to go right below this video and click all those buttons down there, because not only let you see future reactions that I do, but also helps my channel to grow. And without any further ado, let's go.
one time I was at an arcade and saw someone with an Ari bag, so I went up to them and said, "Hey, I really like your bag." She turned around, looked straight at me, and said, "Thanks, it's from JaidenAnimations." Oh, cool. And then I just walked away because I didn't know how to salvage that interaction without being weird about it.
Yeah.
As someone who has somehow amassed big number on YouTube website, you'd
Big
probably expect me to be recognized fairly frequently when I'm out on the town. I do definitely get recognized here and there, but given that almost all of the content I've posted is me in cartoon form, it's much less than you'd think. I don't really expect to be recognized unless I'm going somewhere that attracts people who are more online, such as conventions or Hatsune Miku concerts. Of course, I've been in plenty of IRL content on other people's channels, so it's not like no one knows what I look like, but that barrier has given a bit of cushion on how often people will notice that JaidenAnimations is in their vicinity. The majority of my fan interactions are very positive and follow this general flow.
That's wonderful.
Are you JaidenAnimations? Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love your videos. Can I get a photo? Yeah.
That's probably how my interaction would be with her if I ever met her.
Alright, thanks. Bye. It's simple. It's streamlined. Everyone's happy. Of course, not every interaction goes like this. And naturally, people always want to know about the outliers. The bad interactions. The weird ones.
Oh boy,
Any
here we
freaks
go.
out there that you've met Jaiden? I'm lucky enough to be able to say, you guys are pretty normal. There's not really any single experience that comes to mind when people ask me that. So thank you. Gold star to every single person I've met in my entire
Hooray for
career
people
so
being
far.
normal.
However, I do have some funny stories I've collected. Like one time, Jacob and I were sitting down at the Toadstool Cafe to film for their video about Nintendo Land when this one guy walked by and recognized Jacob. Oh my gosh, are you Alpha Red? Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love your videos. Can I get a photo? Yeah, you know, everything's going as per the script. At this point, I piped up and asked, would you like me to take the photo for you? And as I said that, Jacob and I both saw that the guy suddenly recognized my voice.
Oh!
Me. Now knowing there were two YouTubers at that table, he
Oh
started
my!
to ask if I was Jaiden, but mid-sentence realized that if he was incorrect, it would look a little tiny bit racist. You know, you can't always just assume the Asian girl with Alpha Rad is Jaiden.
Sure.
Even though 90% of the time you'd be correct. So he ended up pivoting halfway through to cover for the mistake, which ended up like this. Would you like me to take the photo for you? Oh, correct me if I'm wrong, but who are you?
Oh!
Of course, we knew what he meant. I say I'm Jaiden, everything is fine, we all take a photo together. But being able to see the line his brain took in real time was so funny. It's one of my and Jacob's favorite stories because he meant so well. Like, I completely understand what happened. But also asking, sorry, but who are you? To someone offering to take a photo is just... I would love to meet that guy again and just tell him how much we loved that interaction. Dude, if you're out there, I hope your Toadstool Cafe food was good. Because ours wasn't. There actually have been times, though, where people have thought they've run into me and were just wrong. I've seen tweets tagging me like, OMG, just met JaidenAnimations. as I'm currently sitting at home looking at a photo of some poor random Asian girl. When we were all on tour for Scribble Showdown a while back in Chicago, James and Emily went to go look at the bean, and James ended up getting recognized. While he was talking to the group of people, one of them saw Emily and went, "Oh my gosh, it's Jaiden!" James immediately starts laughing his ass off trying to correct them, but somehow wasn't clear enough because when they were all taking a photo, they were like, "Jaiden, get in front!" Another time, when Jacob and Joe posted a video of themselves playing Mario Wonder in a GameStop, at the very end, Joe turned the camera around to the girl filming and said, "Are you JaidenAnimations?" The bit being it was our friend Sarah Moon, who is not me, but has been called Jaiden by confused viewers in the past. Really no reason, but still, hundreds of people in the comment section of the video still thought she was me anyway because Asian girl. Then, to poke fun at that situation, a while later they asked me to record them playing Mario Kart in a round 1, and in it said, "Huge shout out to Sarah Moon for recording this video," as the camera panned to me. And you'd think people would catch on to the joke.
Oh no.
But so many more people were like, "Okay, I thought that was Jaiden in the other video, but was afraid of being racist."
Oh
not
God.
Realizing they're still not getting it. Sarah and I genuinely look nothing alike, but just pointing at one of us and going, "Jaiden," will convince hordes of people in comment sections without fail. It's like
I have no doubt.
casting an inescapable Jaiden spell. On the opposite side of the coin, I was in San Diego for TwitchCon last year, perusing the San Diego Zoo with some friends. To hype it up a bit, the San Diego Zoo is awesome. I legit went there 3 times during the 3-day event, which to the math nerds out there means I went to the zoo more times than the actual convention. Anyway, someone ended up coming up to me with an "Excuse me," that I registered as I was being recognized. So I turned around, expecting the typical fan interaction. "Sorry to interrupt, but are you Emeru?"
Oh no!
I was stun locked. It threw off my whole script and I accidentally blurted out,
God.
"No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm just Asian." And the guy didn't really have anything to say about that. He just went, "Oh, okay, thanks." You know, it was a nice little dose of humble for me, though. I got a kick out of Emily and Sarah being called Jaiden, and now I've been struck by the Emeru hammer. Look, I'll be the one to say it, though. None of us look like each other. We're just Asian women on the internet, and not even the same kind. So, yeah, if you ever think you see your favorite Asian creator in the wild, make sure you double check. Sometimes I can tell people are secretly Googling me before asking for a photo just to be sure. And you know, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. I didn't mean to go off on this whole tangent about people accidentally being racist. I'm sorry, there were just a lot of instances of it. We can get back on track now. The very first time I was recognized, not in like a convention setting, was in a random Target. I was walking down an aisle chatting with my friend Kelsey when someone passed by, backtracked, and came up asking, "Are you Jaiden?" Now, this was back in 2017 when I had significantly less content showing my face, so I was completely shocked and not prepared. I was in ugly house clothes, no makeup, hair wasn't washed, literal bridge dweller, and was in the middle of my first public fan interaction. Apparently, they recognized me from my voice, which is nuts. Some people have told me I sound exactly like how I do in my videos, and others say I don't, so I have no barometer on what I actually sound like. The person was super sweet. This isn't like a crazy story or anything, but it's special in my mind because I was so embarrassed and unprepared for it, mentally and physically. This next one was when Jacob, Captain Kidd, and I were in Hawaii for Pokemon Worlds. We'd all just arrived at the event and were checking out all the fun decorations Pokemon set up. Since all of us have made a good amount of Pokemon content, a lot of Pokemon fans were recognizing us and asking to take photos. A well-intentioned mom ended up taking notice of how much attention we were getting and asked us what we did for a living for all of these people to be coming up to us. Jacob explained we were YouTubers and she lit up, saying her son watches a lot of YouTube, pointing down at the young boy hiding behind her leg. In an attempt to connect with the kid a bit, Jacob asked what YouTubers he watched. I like Mr. Beast. Seeing a way to make the kid excited, Jacob pointed at me and said, "No way! Did you know she was in a Mr. Beast video recently?
Yeah!
And won?" Instantly, the kid jumped up. "You know Mr. Beast?" "Well, like, kinda. I've talked to him before, but will you tell him to give me $1 million?
Oh no!
First of all, hilarious situation to suddenly be thrust into.
I love
Second
it.
of all, now that the kid was suddenly not hiding behind his mom's leg anymore, we could see he had a giant gold chain around his neck, sporting a framed PSA graded
Wow!
first edition Charizard.
God damn!
Dude, do you know how much cash you've got around your neck right now? The card was graded like 9.5.
Jesus!
I have no idea where
That's
it got
insane!
from. Like, you always see those, "Can you give me $1 bajillion?" comments on Mr. Beast stuff, but it was surreal to witness it in real life. Like, it's real. Gold chain Charizard Mr. Beast kid has been cemented in my memories.
I can see why.
I know who we were. Also, for the record, after I won the Mr. Beast cube, my emails were an absolute wreck of random people begging me for money.
Oh,
"Can
no.
you give me money? May please get some money? Hi, JD." Not my name. "Just 10K, thank you." Heart. Someone straight up sent me a PayPal invoice for $10,000.
Oh my
with no
God!
message attached. Just an outstretched, grubby little hand in my inbox.
God
Guys,
damn.
I didn't win any money from that thing. You can stop emailing me. We gave it all away to various artists all over the globe to support them through their art school.
Yay!
Which was an incredible opportunity, and I was very happy to support artists, and I wish them all the best of luck with their degrees. But stop emailing me for money! Gosh, I don't even want to know what Mr. Beast's DMs look like.
Oh, no.
One time my phone screen died on me, not my fault, so I had to take it to a repair shop. This was, unfortunately, during a time when my car's driver's side mirror was smashed. My fault. So I also had no street legal car to take me back home while I waited for my phone to be fixed.
Oh my God.
Needing to kill 2 hours, I ended up sitting in a nearby Burger King equipped with my Switch to play Hello Kitty Island Adventure
As you
and
do.
an iPad as a second monitor to watch YouTube videos. I almost made it the entire time with no issue, but like some sort of pathetic Scooby-Doo villain, my plan was foiled as a nice girl came up to me and quickly said, "I really like your videos," before walking back over to sit with her friends. Now, the interaction itself was completely fine. I'm just embarrassed at what it looked like on her end. Internet personality JaidenAnimations sitting completely alone at a single-seat table in a random Burger King. No food in sight, just a table covered in devices like some sort of 27-year-old iPad kid. She didn't even let me explain my situation. She just said hi and walked off. So, kind girl, if you're out there, or even still a fan, it wasn't as pathetic as it looked. It was pathetic, but it's not that bad.
You're
I was just
overthinking
passing the
it.
time. Please resubscribe. I feel like I lost you that day. Speaking of unfollowing out of shame, a couple years ago, I went with some friends to my first furry convention. The furry convention isn't the shameful part though. That itself was great. The actual shame began when my group wanted to check out the 18+ section, mainly out of curiosity and entertainment. I sheepishly followed them in, and just as I was thinking to myself, man, it would sure be unfortunate if I got recognized.
Oh
while
boy,
I-
here it comes.
Are you JaidenAnimations?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So admittedly, there's a single photo out there of me, a fan, and a very colorful background. Quickly moving on from that one, this story is by far the most I've ever been recognized out in public in my entire life. There's probably a teeny little slight possibility I curated it myself by accident, but it was when I went to a Hatsune Miku concert in California. The community somehow has caught on that I like her, and said community was all right there in one spot.
Oh my god!
Concert, I was getting recognized like every few minutes, which is very not normal for me, but you know, completely fine. I don't mind at all. Eventually, everyone was led into the venue. I was meeting a few more people inside. Then the lights went down and we all got to enjoy the concert as per usual.
Cool.
However, when the show was over and the lights turned back on, everyone rotated 180 degrees
Oh, no.
to head to the exit, which meant people could see my face again. We would make it a few steps forward, get stopped, then 3 more people would come up, and I'd suddenly be against the wall. All while my poor friends just had to watch it all happen.
Oh, no.
For me. For the first time ever, I needed to figure out a way to get out of there, or else I would have been taking photos with the entire concert audience as my friends withered on the floor. Sarah put her big hoodie on me, another friend gave me their sunglasses, and suddenly, I vanished.
Whoa!
No more JaidenAnimations. Poof!
Whoa!
She was gone. The Clark Kent strategy actually works.
Nice.
Sarah and I quickly headed to the exit, squishing past unsuspecting Miku fans, and it wasn't until we made it all the way to the parking lot where we turned around and realized we were alone. I was successfully smuggled out, but the downside was the disguise was so overly effective, even our friends didn't know who I was anymore.
Oh no!
At least now I know if I'm ever in a sticky situation, a simple hoodie and glasses is really all it takes.
Alright,
I'll
then.
no longer be making fun of Superman's public disguise.
Same!
Dude knew what he was talking about. Despite all of these stories, if you ever see me in public, please don't be afraid to come up and say hi. I'm more than happy to meet you or take a photo. Again, basically every person I've met who watches my videos was absolutely wonderful, these stories included, and I promise I won't make a video about you if you accidentally say something a little awkward.
Oh no!
Unless it was really funny and the world needs to know. Also, I can tell when you recognize me, I've essentially got a spidey sense for it by now, and it's more uncomfortable for both of us if you just stare at me for 30 minutes and then leave. Please, just say hi or something. It's okay. I'm lucky to have such a normal and kind group of people watching my content, and I do really enjoy getting to meet you guys. I guess if you were to take anything from this video, make sure you know it's actually me.
Yeah!
This is not me. This is not me. This is not me. I'm this one.
Ah!
Hope that helps. Man, it has been quite some time since I've done a good old classic story time. What is
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. I can't even begin to imagine what those fan experiences are like and how crazy it can be just to be recognized in public. There was one time where I was recognized at a friend's get-together, and I don't know how, but someone recognized me from one of my videos. It was one of my, I think my either kill count reaction or pitch meeting reaction where they were talking about like some sort of movie, and it's like, oh, I saw your video today, and it's like, oh, like I didn't know how exactly to deal with it. It's like, oh, thank you. I did, and that was really the extent of the interaction. I don't think we really talked to each other for the rest of the night, but it was a very interesting thing. Outside of that, I haven't really dealt with it. Honestly, I don't really go out too much, to be honest. So if you see me out in the wild, then, you can feel free to say hi if you want. I don't really think I'm really that big of a deal. Maybe I am to some, and I do appreciate it do appreciate that. But I guess if you ever see me, come say hi. If you want a picture, fine. I'm not gonna sign anything because I'm not really a fan of doing that. I'm more like a picture kind of guy because my handwriting is crap and I never know how to quite to sign my name because obviously that's not my real name. But I digress. But that's gonna do it for me here. Comment down below. Let me know, what did you think about this story. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it. Check all those links I have for you down in the description below. Then lastly, and most importantly, we give a huge shout out to all my $5 and up supporters on Patreon. Cruising, Wolverine 310, Kester Kronich, Joshi, Roadrunner 1967, Chris Curtis, Fox Coffany, Misa 2, Flea Street Vicomp, Songbird 177, Misa 3, Inca Linquist, MB Cardall, Something Else, 20 Owl, The True Sunny Hero, Powerpuff Girls fan number 8, and brand new patron supporters, Janet Boudreau and Davisto David Osborne. Thank you guys so very much. I truly do appreciate it. And if you too like to have a shout out and in each and every one of my videos, please head on over to patreon.com/JaidenReactor for more. And I'll see you guys next time.